Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Cigars and Everything Else podcast, episode 19. And in this week's episode, we talk about that NBA All-Star Weekend. Yeah, they say it's the worst All-Star Weekend of all time, at least the dunk contest anyway. I ain't gonna say the game. The game was good. But we gonna talk about that worst of all time dunk contest, and we talk about legacy. Talk about legacy. There's some jewels that get dropped in that legacy conversation, so you do want to pick them up. Make sure you listen closely. Hey, guess what? We found Alec. Who? Alec? Yeah, we found Alec. Alec Bradley. Yeah, Alec Bradley gets smoked. Denzel smoking Alec Bradley this week, so you don't want to miss what he got to say about that. Look, I'm not gonna hold y'all. We're gonna go ahead and get into this week's episode of the Cigars and Everything Else podcast. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Cigars and Everything Else podcast, episode 19.
Number 19.
Yes, sir. I got Denzel with me, my co-host. My name is Jared. And we're going to get into some cigars today, and we're going to talk about a little bit of everything else. Now, with that being said, for those who listen in regularly, we have been missing for the past 3 weeks or so. No, we're not back to old ways. Our old habits are not doing nothing. That's not what it is. But, you know,
hey, we're gonna stay consistent, man. We're gonna keep it consistent.
It's consistent this time, man. It's all we on point this time, man. Only problems is, man, I've been going through it. I've been having some back-to-back sicknesses and whatnot. So I'm the holdup for the show, you know, not being out, man. And this most recent week, I had to deal with the COVID-19. So I got my turn.
I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody understand it's hit somebody at some point through the last 2 years. So we all understand, man.
Yeah, first time, man. One of my friends said, "Oh, you finally got it." You know, he just laughed at me.
You know what's crazy though? Like, I don't even think too many people bat an eye at it anymore. Like you said, like I'm pretty sure the response was like, "Oh man, you finally got it."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Before we were terrified. You get it, man. You all right? You're getting calls left and right. You know what I'm saying? People concerned about you, worried about you, and not taking away from the severity, because you know there's still people that's going through it and, you know what I'm saying, not making it through it.
Right.
But it doesn't hold the same weight. It's like, man, again,
no,
you know, at work. Yeah,
no way.
The weight's gone.
I told people that I had it, and they just was like, didn't even acknowledge it in the conversation. They just, we kept on with the subject matter. Like, it was like, whatever. I told my mom, and told my mom, yeah, our whole house got it, me and the kids, and she just laughed. That's grandma laughing. She just laughed. Like,
laughed that the grandbabies got it. Like, man, I mean, even when you told me, like, I want to make sure you was good and the family was good and all that, but at the same time, like, I didn't hit you up every day asking you about it. Like, man, how's that COVID treating? Like, you up, you down? I'm just taking for granted that, hey, you good. I'm speaking to you. You good? Didn't even bring it up. You know?
All right.
So, like, I guess the weight is kind of dying a little bit, but I don't want that to take away from understanding how severe it can get and how you know what I'm saying, how serious it is of an issue it is still, you know?
Right. And it's definitely still a major issue for people, but yeah, the severity is going down. My nurse that tested me, I just got a negative test yesterday. So I'm coming today to go do the cigar show with y'all, man. So, you know, I'm putting my lungs on the line for y'all. Tune in.
Fresh off a negative test, man. Negative test, I'm good to go. I'm back in the game.
I'm back in the cigar game. So anyway, my nurse was like, she like, yeah, everybody gonna get it. You know, it ain't no big deal. You can't do nothing about it. You just gotta take it on the chin when it's your turn and go. And my nurse said, she's like, I done had it twice already. You know, it's gonna be what it's gonna be for people. So and I think people are taking that mindset. Like, you ain't gonna be able to avoid it. You're gonna have your turn at some point. And you know.
I mean, well, you down in there in Georgia, man, outside Atlanta, like y'all ain't shut down this whole time anyway. So y'all never really took it all that deep to begin with.
No,
you know,
not Georgia,
not down there in Georgia, man. But yeah, up here it's still deep. You gotta show your vaccine card to get into like establishments and all this stuff. Still, like they serious with it out here, man.
Hey man, you know, it seems to be the new way of life. You know, I can't see a scenario where we go back to normal. I want to, but it's been 2 years.
2 years.
Who am I to believe that it's gonna change now if it didn't change a year ago? Like,
yeah, I mean, and we brought this up a few episodes ago talking about how things become a new normal. How long does it take for something to be
A new
of
norm.
repetition for it become a new normal, a new habit?
Mm-hmm.
And this deep into the game, I mean, this is just probably our new norm. You know, at work with the mask on every day. Every time I go in the building, like you don't feel right without it anymore. It's like, man, something's missing. I walked out of my office one time. I don't wear my mask in my office, but I walked out, and as soon as I walked out, I'm like, something feels weird. Ah, my mask.
My
Let me go
man.
get my mask. It's like, where my keys? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Where's my wallet? Where's my mask? You know what I'm saying? I walk out my office. I'm like, my face feels different. I need a mask on. You know
That's
what I mean?
crazy, but that's how it is now. It's the new norm. It's the new norm.
It's the new norm.
I don't want to be living like this in 2025, but maybe.
Here we go. Maybe have to just take that on the chin, like you said, man. Just suck it up as a new way of life, man. But yeah, let's get into these cigars, man. I'm kind of excited a little bit today.
I'm sorry, man. You know, forgive me. The stars of the show, the cigars, the stars of the show, the cigars, man. You're right. For me today, I'm taking it easy. I'm taking it light, and I'm gonna go ahead and get what you wanted a little bit of. I got that good Java Red.
Oh man, you got the Java Red too. Oh no, you don't got the
I got the latte. I'm sorry. I got the Java latte. I'm sorry. Yeah, you said you wanted the red. I got the latte.
I wanted the red. I mentioned that to you yesterday, man. I just had a craving for a Java Red. It hit me out of nowhere. I don't know why, but I had a craving for it. And it's rare that I get a craving for a particular cigar. I might have a craving for a cigar and then go to the cigar shop and let it kind of lead me where, you know, let my feelings lead the way once I get to the cigar shop. But it's rare that I have a feeling for a particular cigar. Like, man, I want a Java Red. I had that feeling last night. Like, man, I need the Java Red right now. But so I'm a little jealous with you, man. You got that latte. The latte is pretty good too, man. Have you had it before?
Years ago, man. I don't remember.
Years ago. Okay.
Yeah. So what's gonna be what are you smoking today, man? What's your star of the show?
All right, well, I already know what I'm smoking. You know, I already always bring two boys to the fight. But I had already predetermined what I'm gonna smoke today. So I'm gonna talk about the one I'm not gonna smoke. I have a My Father's Law Grand. I don't even know how to say it.
You took my spot.
I'm going down your road, man. But it's a My Father cigar that I haven't seen before. And as we all know that My Father's has kind of won me over as my go-to brand. So I'm excited to get to this at some point. It'll probably be the next cigar I smoke on the show. So I'm excited when I pick this one up to get to it. But what I have in hand is an Alec Bradley. It's an Alec Bradley.
Where you find him?
I found him at my cigar shop, man. It's a cigar I haven't seen before. And it was a conversation that was brought up, and we talked about Alec Bradley and them trying to get themselves back in the fold. So I did purposely, when I hit the cigar shop, look for their placement to see, okay, what kind of presence do they have in the cigar shop? And it wasn't a big display, it wasn't a big presence, but they did have a cigar that I did not see before. So it looks like it might be brand new. I haven't done my research. Probably should have prior to the show to see when this cigar was crafted, how long has it been on the market. But it's definitely a cigar I have not seen by Alec Bradley. For one, we already know Alec Bradley's hard to find in cigar shops now anyway.
Correct.
But to see Alec Bradley, but then not see one of their legacy lines, was kind of, it was something to see. So by nature, I had to grab it, and we have to give it a shot and see where is Alec Bradley going. Now that we found Alec Bradley, and Alec is kind of re-emerging, now where's Alec going?
Time to see. This should be interesting. All right, Alec. You actually got back into a cigar shop. My man.
He's back in there. It's wild. I was happy to see it,
Hey, man, I'm glad he's back to work, man. So I'm glad you went with the Alec, too. I'm glad you went with the Alec over to My Father's. As much as My Father's is one of your go-tos, it's going to be good to see what Alec got going on, because we talk about Alec with such love. Yeah.
And we're going to give Alec the fair shake. We got the cedar spills on deck. Mm-hmm. I did bring a butane lighter. I meant to grab some matches, but I have a butane lighter. But not a butane lighter, but a big lighter. I'm sorry.
Tell the truth.
But Tell the truth. Tell the truth. It's a big lighter, not a butane. I don't know why I was saying butane, but a big lighter. But we're gonna light the cedar stick. We're gonna light the cedar spill, and we're gonna let that spark Alec Bradley. You know what I'm saying? Give him the best chance, best shot. You know, all the favor.
All right, here's another good question for you, because you pretty predictable, but you might switch it up sometimes. I got a punch. What you gonna be using today?
Straight cut.
Okay, straight cut.
You had to ask, though, right?
Had to ask, man.
Ask.
You know, you might be.
You just never know.
You might just be biting it or something today. You know, I don't ever know.
And we did have to pinch it a couple weeks ago, so
Yeah.
I might pinch, I might straight cut. You know, I do want to add to my repertoire. I need to have a V cut on deck. I want to have a punch on deck. I need to have these tools. Sometimes I'll get them V cut in the cigar shop. Like as soon as I buy it, they'll ask if I want to cut. Go ahead and get a cut. Then if I want a V cut, but I need to just get in the habit of just having those tools on deck, man.
Yeah, man. You run a cigar podcast in a cigar shop, man. Come on, man. You the leader of Verdant Cigars, man. Like,
have all your tools, right?
Yeah, brother. But all right, we're gonna go ahead and get these cigars torched today, and we're gonna.
Oh yeah, I'm already clipped. Got my cedar spill lit, and
I got a big
toasting.
Just so we talking about it. You know what I'm saying? I got a big, and I'm gonna use me a cedar stick, not a spill. Ooh, didn't do good with that at all. I need a match.
All right.
You know, I'm one match shouty.
Still needs a match.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, how can you be one match, but not one with the cedar spill, man? The cedar spill, it gets it done, man. It keeps that flame going. All right, so Alec Bradley. I didn't even name what type of cigar it was, did I?
Mm-mm.
Oh man, what does it say on the band? I'm looking at the band. It's a sun-grown blend. Libertas.
You couldn't pronounce it.
I can't even pronounce it, man. I'm butchering this thing, but it's one of their sun-grown blend cigars. So our first light, man, first puff, pretty smooth.
Didn't come in with the pepper?
No pepper off top, no bite off top.
Okay.
Just a smooth, woody note so far. Just a smooth, woody note so far off the first couple puffs. So I've taken 2 puffs already, of course, and then plus 1 puff to get the light going. And we're real smooth, man. Just moving in a nice little woody note.
Okay. I don't have much of an opinion yet, but it kind of has a little bit of that artificial infused taste to it right off the top. So I don't want to hold it
Okay.
in there,
I mean, but we know with all like flavor cigars, sometimes you're gonna have that infused. Sometimes you're gonna have too much flavor right off the cap. But then once that flavor kind of dies down and the tobaccos get all in it,
yeah,
things kind of even out. And that's what Java does very well. Is that evenness, it doesn't have too much flavors that overwhelms. Like, so once you get to your smoke, you really feel like you got that traditional smoke along the way.
Yeah. And that could be some of that big hitting my cedar stick. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
It could be, man. It could be.
So I got to be careful,
Man, you got anything particular you drinking?
Just water, man. Just water.
Just water.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to take it easy on this first episode, get back in the groove of things. And then, because I haven't had a drink since prior to. I probably had a drink since the last episode. To be honest, I don't remember.
Hey,
I could have had a coffee on the last episode. I just don't know. I don't know.
I think it was a coffee. I think it was. But man, I'm getting over a little bit of something too. I got hit over the last couple of days. So I'm on the Suntory whiskey, the Japanese whiskey, hoping that'll kind of clear me up a little bit. I didn't want anything too crazy. Mixing with the Alec Bradley, and then of course I'm trying to get over something myself, and I wanted something that was going to hit, kind of clear me up. So the Japanese whiskey, I think, is gonna hit the spot and keep it nice and even kill.
Okay. I thought
I
you was
got
gonna do like a
Alec
port or
Bradley.
something this morning. That is what I expected from you.
A nice little port wine, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought, man. You know.
Man, I got to get back on my wine game, man. I've been out the game of the wines. Like it's been a minute. It's really been a minute. I used to love a good port, a nice. You know what I'm saying? I don't do too many sweet wines. If I do a sweet wine, but a port like that really hits the spot for me because it's still bold, but at the same time it has a little bit of sweetness to it. So it's like real cool.
Yeah, the port does have that boldness to it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you know, now that you touching on it, the wine sounds it sounds good, man. That sounds like the move right now, man. You know, we've been like really in a heavy liquor phase
Yeah.
past few years. I wouldn't mind, man. You got me thinking about wine, man. Don't be shocked for me to go through about another 2-month run of wines, man. You know.
Hey, look, I salute it if you do, man. And that's the thing. Man, when I first started smoking cigars, my go-to was a wine. Like I wasn't heavy mixing liquor with cigars at all. If I hit a cigar shop, and I used to kind of get teased a little bit from one of my cigar mentors. I would get a Sauvignon Blanc, man. That used to be always my go-to wine
Yeah.
with a cigar. I just loved the pairing. You know, it was just the perfect pairing for me. Grab a nice little Sauvignon Blanc. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't have too much bitterness. It's just kind of even kill. Let's the cigar do its thing. But then at the same time, give you a nice little edge to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I kind of got shamed out of it. And I wish I did. You know, I wish I did. And that's the stage that we kind of take to say, hey, man, look, enjoy your vice the way you enjoy your vice.
Mm-hmm.
If you like a flavored cigar, enjoy your flavored cigar. If you want some wine with your cigar, enjoy some wine. If you want a coffee, we want everybody to feel welcome with how they partake, right?
Right.
But we did find a good, nice little even balance though. When I did finally get into the liquors, we hit the bourbon and ginger ale and found that to be like one of the perfect mixes with a cigar. So now that's become my go-to. But man, early on in the game, it was a Sauvignon Blanc and a cigar.
Yeah.
He used to come bring me my wine glass and everything. I'm sitting there with my wine glass and my cigar. No shame in it.
You got to revisit that and see if it really hit the same for you when you come back to it. You know, especially because you remember what your go-to was. You know, you should definitely try that. I know for me during that time, I was only in the dry white wines. So but right now that urge don't hit me. I want red.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I need to go red when I come back. And I was never really into reds, but
right, okay.
I think I'm gonna come back red when I come back here.
You gonna hit that? You gonna hit the port? You gonna hit the Merlot? What you thinking about? You gotta sit back and give some time.
I probably start with a Merlot and then work my way around. Okay. But more than likely, it'll probably be a Merlot.
Okay, all right. See, and then that's the thing, man. Like, I guess it's about getting established, and where I am and where we are. You know, I feel more established that in any cigar venue I'm at. If I grab a glass of Sauvignon Blanc, you can't tell me nothing.
Yeah.
But you know what? I might revisit that. That might be my next little drink I pull out for the podcast too, man. Go ahead and grab me a bottle. It's been a minute. It's been some years.
Let's go with a wine.
Definitely been some
Saturday.
years.
Next Saturday wine.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Wine.
It's in the books. Let's call it.
There it is. Done. I like that.
Man, Alex pretty nice, man. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Hey man, it's the nostalgia, man. You happy to have him back?
Man. So let's get into some topics, man. Let's talk about some things, man. Let's get into everything else.
Most definitely.
They come here for the cigars. They come here for the talk. Come here for everything else. So I'm gonna take it into the realm of sports. We got a lot of serious things going on in the world, and needs to be addressed. But at the same time, let's kick it for a minute.
We missed some sports. We missed the Super Bowl.
All-Star. Yeah, we missed all of that. We missed all those big events, man. Shoot, we can go a lot of different ways, but the NBA All-Star game Did you get to catch any of it? You caught a little bit of dunk contest. You did.
I
You did, right?
caught
You did.
the festivities. I didn't catch the All-Star game on Sunday. I just caught some highlights from it. I know Steph went off, but
the game was actually pretty good, man. Steph, he put on a show. He put on a show. And I guess further ruined the game. I was watching the highlight of the Lakers taking an L and LeBron kind of being a little bit pissed off. Melo took a three almost at half court with 5 seconds left to go in the game, only down by 1. It's like, why take that shot? You know what I'm saying? I listened to the commentator, and the commentator said exactly the same thing I said as soon as I saw Melo take the shot. It's like, why take that shot? Coming from our era, get in there, get a 15-footer, go to the hole, get a foul. So you got 5 seconds. That's an eternity to win a game.
Yeah.
But the way Steph was putting on his display in the All-Star game,
and it's Melo, huh?
I guess you know what I'm saying, it's contagious. Like everybody, I can do that too. I can do that too. Everybody taking those shots. But man, the dunk contest was a big disappointment to me. Huge disappointment to me.
Tragedy.
Not necessarily because of the names of the players who participated, but just the level of effort put into that festivity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm having my son watch with me. He's 12. And I'm almost hurting for him, right? Because I remember when I was 12, what I was seeing. I think when I was 12, who was in it? It was either Kobe or J.R. Ryder or somebody, you know what I'm saying, going through the legs. All of the, you know what I'm saying? It was hype. It was still hype.
Right.
And of course we had some down years to where it died down and all of this stuff. But I'm hurting for my son. I'm like, man, this is the time where you're coming of, that time where you're gonna relish when you're older and think back to your coming up and how great things were and how great this was, and seeing how the NBA players like, man, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna be in a dunk contest. I think it was John Morant. His response when he was asked, like, no, never gonna happen. LeBron never competed in it. You got Zion, he's always hurt, so he can't compete in it. Where do you think the game could go to keep that kind of mystique for that particular event down the line for these future fans? You know what I'm saying? These young fans who I want to see enjoy the game like we enjoyed the game growing up. Well, like, there's no incentive to do it, really.
Why? This is what I need clarity on. Why did the top players stop being in the dunk contest anyway? Because
I don't know.
The top players used to do it. Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkins, like Kobe Bryant,
Dr. J, Kobe Bryant, yeah.
Like, you had the greats played in dunk contest.
Vince Carter considered a great. You know what I'm saying? Before he was in the dunk contest, from college to the pros, he was a big marquee player.
Sean Kemp, big players were in the dunk contest. Why? When did even Blake Griffin? Like, you know what I'm saying? When did it change? Like, you know what I'm saying?
He was considered a marquee player at his time too. That's right.
When did it change? Like, when did they say I'm too cool to do this now?
I don't know. I think it started maybe with LeBron and him never desiring to participate. And they're like, if the biggest of the biggest don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it either.
But there's a reason Bron didn't participate, to me.
Right.
Bron ain't that type of dunker. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all want him in it because we know he can jump out the gym. But Bron's an in-game dunker. I seen Bron in a dunk contest in high school. He was doing in-game dunks. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? At the McDonald's contest. He was doing in-game dunks.
I actually kind of disagree a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen LeBron in his pregame dunks. Some of them pregame dunks way better than the dunks that we saw this past weekend.
It's just because he jumped out the gym, though. He ain't doing nothing. He ain't doing nothing special, but he's special.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
right.
So anything he does looks extra special. I seen the pregame dunks. He get off, like, but nobody jumps like Bron. You know what I'm saying? At that size.
Yeah.
But Bron ain't gonna jump over no car, go through his legs, nothing like that. Like he
Yeah.
ain't that type of
Like I
guy.
can't see him doing any gimmicks like that now, for sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
so that's why he didn't do it. But what's everybody else's excuse? What's John Morant's excuse? Like, you know what I'm saying?
You're John Morant. You're a good player,
And
but you're not LeBron.
You're not LeBron.
You know what I'm saying?
You're D Brown. Go be D Brown and get in the contest. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
facts, yes. You're D Brown.
you're D Brown, bro. Like,
Maybe you know what, and maybe it's
or
this.
you're Nate Robinson. Go get in it. Like, you know what I'm saying? You of that ilk, though.
True.
Like,
yeah, really, really good players who can make a difference in the game, but still have some athletic talent. You know, that's exactly what Nate Robinson was. That's exactly what D Brown was. But you know what I kind of liken it to? You know, having young soldiers, having an adult child, seeing how this new generation is. One thing that I've always kind of came back to was this word of entitlement. You know, to where they feel like they are where you are already at their young age, in their young stage. So I'm thinking that maybe it's they think, okay, LeBron didn't do it, but like we just said, if you're not LeBron, go get in it. You know what I'm saying? He can call the shots because he's this extra special talent who is the face of the league. He doesn't have to, really. How do you feel like you're on that same level?
right.
Already. And you've only been in the league 2, 3, 4 years. You know.
But this is the other thing. The dunk contest could be your legacy. You could be Isaiah Ryder. It could be your legacy.
True.
Like,
could be your legacy.
Like,
even Nate Robinson, even as great of an in-game player that he was, that is his legacy, really.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody knows him from being a short, athletic guy.
Don't miss your legacy. Spud Webb. Like,
Spud Webb, that's his legacy.
It's his legacy, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's his legacy.
Don't miss your moment trying to either emulate someone else whose legacy is not defined by winning one of those contests, or don't be too cool. It's one of those two. Either you trying to be, you think Bron didn't do it, so I don't got to do it. I'm gonna follow that path, or either you being too cool. And that's something people do also, where they like, man, you know, I don't want that type of attention, or I'm too cool for that. They can do that, but you know, I ain't. Yeah. Like, nah, man, don't be too cool for the moment and miss your moment.
But here's the thing. Like, I don't understand how you could be too cool for it. Even Vince Carter, even though to me that's not his legacy, that's still a part of his legacy, a huge piece of his legacy.
Right.
You know, everybody will forever remember the 2000 slam dunk contest. Even though his legacy is far beyond that, in my opinion, that is a big mark in his legacy. You know?
It's a part of Jordan's legacy.
It is.
It's a
huge part of his legacy.
Huge part.
Even with 6 chips.
Even with six chips, 6 MVPs, like even with the GOAT status, all of that, them dunk contests, what he won? 2 years in the dunk contest? 2 out of 3, something like that? Those 2 wins, it's a big part of his legendary status. You know what I'm saying? It's part of what we admired about Mike. But guess what he got first? He went and got that before he got them chips. You know what I'm saying? Then afterwards, he went out and started getting too cool for it. Probably not too cool, just them legs hurting. But when he was a young man, he could jump out the gym. He was jumping out the gym.
Yeah. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. And I hurt for young NBA fans who, to us, when we grew up, that's one of those things that we got to see and witness and relish as we came of age. For them to not have too much of that, I mean, we did have 2 good years. What's his name? Levine and the other guy.
Yeah, Zach Levine and forget it. I can't think off the top of my head.
Can't remember his name either, right?
Yeah.
And here we go. We're talking about legacies.
Right.
Actually, I think the other guy didn't win, right?
Nah, but everybody thought he should have won. I'm about to look him up. Go ahead.
But Zach Levine, he won, so we can remember his name. I don't know anything that he's done outside of that. Maybe I because I'm not paying as much attention to the league right now as I once did. But I can't name anything he's done outside of the dunk contest. So to me, right now, that's his legacy until he goes further into the playoffs.
Right. Aaron Gordon.
You know, Aaron Gordon. Okay, yeah. That's right.
Yeah. But like you say, even then, Aaron Gordon's legacy is getting robbed in the dunk contest, allegedly robbed, which was not no rob. It was that was as even as it could be. You know what I'm saying? Somebody had to win.
Somebody had to win. Somebody had to win. Somebody had to lose.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was about as close of a dunk contest as you can get. But any other outside of Dominique and MJ when they went at it.
Right. But those two young guys gave this generation one of those moments.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people felt like Nick got robbed against Jordan.
Right.
So, I mean, but...
And then guess what? That's still part of his legacy, too.
Part of his legacy. Jordan robbed you in a dunk contest. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't know, man. This one was bad. I don't know enough about the players to say if it was because they couldn't dunk or they just missed the mark. You know, not that they couldn't dunk. Obviously, they can dunk, but to know if they were marquee dunkers that should have been the face of the contest, or if
they were not. I'll tell you that for sure. They were not.
Okay. Wow.
Harold Miner. We all remember Harold Miner still.
Mm-hmm.
And what did he do with his career? You know what I mean?
Right.
Dunk contest, Baby Jordan. That's his legacy.
That's all he got. But man, these guys, man, they too many misses. Way too many misses. And that was what took me out of it. I was watching it and I was like, all right, I'm turning away. I turned away before it ended because it was just like
What's the time?
I was bored with the amount of misses. Some of the dunks, don't get me wrong, it had potential, but it loses some steam after your 10th try. You know,
right? No, after your second or third, by the time the second one you miss it, like, nah, come on now.
Go do something else, man. I don't even want to see this dunk completed no more. I've seen enough of it missed to know what it is. Like, so the league is definitely gonna have to do something different. I saw where Paul Pierce, I believe, said that the league should bring 3 YouTubers in and have them compete against 3 guys in the league and put up a certain amount of money, and whoever wins the overall contest.
That could be dope.
That fits the world today. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. I mean, but the only thing is,
I hate not wanting to give nobody that type of shine. I can get it, but
But how else are you going to bring back some excitement to that event? Especially if the NBA players don't want to do it. I would rather it be an NBA player, you know, because that's just, to me, that's part of the NBA. That's part of the culture of the league. That's part of enjoying the culture of the league, especially for that weekend, you know?
Right. Man, but everything evolves, and they're gonna have to find a way to evolve it, or either you're gonna have to put the 3-point contest in at the end, you know, like
at the end. That's the highlight, right?
and push everything back to half court on the 3-point contest, since that's where everybody want to shoot at. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. They did make that change and pull one back to, like, not the logo, but with the you know, where they usually have like the advertisement area.
That area.
They pulled a shot back down to that area. So they added that to the 3-point contest. So that's another sign of things changing and shifting a little bit with the way things are going now.
Right. Yeah, it was a letdown. It was a letdown, and like you say, for someone your son's age, those are the years that you're gonna look back at if you are a lover of sports, and those are gonna be some of your fondest memories from maybe 11 to 15, 16.
14, 15, yeah.
Absolutely, and that's what they got this year. So sorry to your children, you know.
That's what you got to look forward to. Dang. Man.
This Java Cafe has got a little bit of a mocha coffee taste to it.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's still got that that artificial taste, and it really might be. I might really be tasting this butane off this lighter, which is
So the
disappointing.
butane hasn't died down a little bit.
I'm assuming that's what it is. I don't know.
Okay.
But this one isn't. I wouldn't pick this up over the red. I'll tell you that so far. But once again, maybe it's the cigar. I don't know. Or maybe it's me.
Okay.
Maybe it's user error at this point.
Yeah, maybe your palate hasn't come all the way back yet from
From the virus,
from the COVID.
coronavirus.
Yeah.
Yeah, possible also.
Yeah. That could be it. Well, with me, I'm getting finally getting through my first third, man. And surprise, I have not gotten any pepper at any point through my first third. And usually, whenever you do get pepper, you will get it in that first third. And my experience with sun-grown cigars is usually pepper off the top. Like, I don't know about you and your experiences with sun-growns, but I'm used to getting pepper off the top throughout that first third, and then things kind of evening out. But nothing, man. That's smooth so far through the first third. Got a little bit of cocoa note through it towards the end of the first third, so we'll see if that becomes something prominent in the second third. But yeah, mostly woody notes in the beginning, and just solid all the way through. It's been consistent.
A lot of my Alec Bradley experiences kind of have a little bit of peppery notes to it also too. So that's interesting that Alec did not go with the peppery in this sun grown.
You know what? While we're on the show right now, I'm gonna actually look into this cigar real quick because I really want to know just a little bit more manufacturer details now.
Okay,
it's kind of sparked my interest to see how this was constructed and how it's going through the first third, to say, wow, it's really kind of a mellow cigar, more so than what I'm used to with Alec Bradley, like you spoke about. And I had the Magic Toes recently, had the Black Market recently. So knowing that they're still out there, but now trying this one, it's probably the smoothest one that I've had from Alec Bradley so far.
Okay. Well, while you look into that, man, I want to run an idea by you. Now, I had this conversation with somebody else, and they related to it. I don't know if you're going to relate to it, but I've been realizing, as you know, for me, I've slowly been drifting away from sports over the years. And I'm going to tell you, I realized why. Now, when I was in high school, I watched high school sports. When I went to college, I was not one of those people that went back to high school to watch my high school team perform. There are those people that do that. I was not one of those people. When I left college, I found myself less interested in watching college sports. But I used to like college sports when I was in high school and in college.
Okay.
Now, as I get into my later 30s, nearing towards 40, I find myself less interested in sports altogether. And I think it's that same psychology. I think the older I get, I find it harder to look at these people younger than me as gladiators and great athletes. And I just, I think that's what it is, man. I think I just have a hard time looking at them with the same admiration that I used to look at older people. And
so it's
people
like when
can
you
always go back and just support their high school, and be into it. And I just
into it, right?
I can't look at these kids the same way. They all now that
once
I'm
you come out that realm,
and now I'm at an age where I'm pretty much older than any professional athlete out there, other than Brady. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Which he's just recently retired. Yeah,
he recently retired. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, who do I cheer for? You know what I'm saying? I'm
right. It's kind of like when you were in college going to watch Pee Wee League or something. You know what I mean? You're not going to be as excited to watch Pee Wee League, because you're not in that realm. But when you were in middle school, you'd probably be hyped to watch. You know what I'm saying? Or to participate or whatever. Yeah. It's just, I guess, outgrowing that realm.
They're not my peers, and they're not above me. And now it's just, I just view them as these kids playing this sport now. Like, it took something out of it for me, man. I just can't.
Really?
I can't look at him with the same admiration, man. For some reason,
You know what? I mean, to a sense, I do the same thing, but not to that extreme. I watch college sports, and I'm like, man, these are kids. These are kids. But when we were that age or younger, we looked at it like, man, these are grown men going at it, playing ball, hooping and whatnot. But now it's like, man, these are kids. So you're looking at it with that lens and just thinking like, it's more of an immature thing. Not saying that it is immature, but you're looking at it as more of like a novelty type of thing. Like it's just not really a big to do anymore.
it's
Maybe
created some type of detachment for me, and I don't know. I don't know, and maybe it's got something to do with when I was a kid. A lot of those athletes were my heroes, and now I can't look at the sport from that
somebody
same
young
lens.
is
So I just don't enjoy it the same as I used to. Like,
well, maybe I would say this. Maybe
I don't
when your sons get a little bit older, it'll draw you back to it. Because I know that kind of helps me. Even a couple of days ago, I was asking my son, like, "Hey, who is this guy?" Like, "Oh, you don't know who this person is? You don't know who that person is? That's so and so. There, this and there." I'm like, "Oh, well, I thanks for telling me. I had no idea who that was." Right.
Right.
So it kind of propels me to get in the know a little bit more because I want to be able to talk sports with my son.
Right.
I ushered him into enjoying sports and watching it and trying to get into the games and stuff like that, and want him to be excited and have the same experiences I had growing up. And now that as I'm getting older, I don't want to be too far removed from it. So I kind of understand what you're saying because I can't keep up. Just the same thing with music. These new rappers nowadays, I don't know half of who their names are. I remember I saw a post that I posted maybe 2 years ago. It had Lil Baby, had The Baby, it had NBA YoungBoy, and a couple other rappers that are really popular now. But 2-3 years ago, I had no idea who they were. It was one of those things that had like 5 rappers said, if one of them can go in all their music, who would you choose? Yeah. I said all 5 of them can go. I don't care. I don't know who any of these 5 people are. Right. So it's kind of that same thing with these sports players. A lot of them, I have no idea who they are. But at the same time, I want to be able to relate with my son while he's watching it and understand what he's talking about, what he's seeing, and who he's becoming a fan of. Steph Curry, he's the old guy now. Who's 30 plus now? So he's on the way out. Even though to me, he's one of the new young players. To me, he's a young player still. Yeah. But to their eyes, Steph Curry, he's an OG in the game now. He's on the way out. He's on the downside of his career. So he's looking at these younger guys, these up and coming players who won 2 years in the league, and he's relishing and looking at them like they're the next biggest thing. And I'm sitting back like I have no idea who you are, but it kind of pushed me to get into it a little bit more so I can be more in the know.
You look at it like this: Bron, younger than us, old man in the league.
Old man in the league, but he's younger than us.
Melo,
right?
Wade retired. Melo's should be retired. You know what I'm saying? Like right. These are all younger than us, but in our age realm. You know what I'm saying? Where I can still kind of look at them and enjoy them, but they're on the way out. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're on the way out the door. So who do I have to look to? Like, like you say, a Curry, I can enjoy Curry and KD and those guys, but those the old heads of the league now. Like,
they're the old heads now. That's crazy to think that.
And they still the old heads young to me, but I can enjoy them because they came in when I still could enjoy the league because Kobe was running the league and people that I grew up with. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's getting there. Like, but don't get me wrong. Like my son is 5 for the listeners. He's getting to that age where he's interested in sports. So occasionally we will watch football together, and I'll explain what he's looking at because he's interested in it. Or we'll watch basketball, and I'll explain to him what he's looking at because he's becoming interested in these sports now. And I can enjoy it when I watch it, but it's something, I guess the emotional connection to the sport has been lost, and it takes a little something away from it for me when I don't have that aspect of the sport there. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I'm not emotionally invested in these guys any further. I don't know. I'm just kind of looking at it for what I'm looking at like a referee, I guess, man. You know, the game
Yeah.
just is what it is now. Like it's
You're only gonna go as far as how much you're invested in it,
you know what
and
it
you don't
is?
have much investment in it anymore.
The NCAA video games, right? Your basketball and
Yeah.
football games back in the day. It was just a
Yeah.
jersey. They're just
Right.
jerseys on the
Jerseys.
field and the court now to me. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I can
Like
enjoy watching them, but
just
I
for
don't care.
just for the nature of the sport.
For
Just
the
for the nature of
the
the sport.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the nature of who this guy is or what that team is. And even now, there's a lot of disconnection to me because I don't even know who I'm looking at half the time. I'm seeing these new jerseys. I don't even know who. Yeah. What team is this? Oh, that's LA. Oh, that's Milwaukee. Who? That's the Grizzlies. What? I be confused half the time. I catch a game on. I don't even know who's playing.
Yeah, and then they have even if the uniforms are still a color that you recognize, they have these unique uniforms for particular games sometimes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What is going on, man? Who is the home team? Everybody got colors on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where's white
and green? I'm used to seeing white as the home team. And that's another thing. They don't even do that like you said, yeah. Sometimes they'll wear the team color at home.
Yeah.
And the other team's wearing white. I'm like, hold on, wait, this is confusing.
Yeah, man. So did you get the information on the cigar though?
Yeah, man, I put up some information. And has Nicaraguan origin. So origin from Nicaragua.
Okay.
I didn't find out the when it was manufactured, but I do see where it was rated as a 91-point rating cigar.
Okay.
So that is what Alec Bradley from my knowledge has always been known for. 90 plus rated cigars. Right. I always remember seeing them in the 90s. And they're definitely a 90 rated cigar, 91 rated cigar here. What's the big to-dos about it? Looks like it's a medium to full body draw, which I'm seeing. So that's definitely true to this reading. But I really wish I can find out when this cigar came into production. That's the biggest thing for me.
I wonder. It'd be interesting. What if it's an older cigar than you think, and they just reproducing it again?
Could be. Matter of fact, I'm looking at this one.
This is from like 2021, and they just getting it out now. You know what I'm saying? But
no, actually, I'm looking at this article from 2013. Same band, same, yeah, everything's the same. So it looks like maybe they're just going back to their
I ain't mad at that. Go back to the drawing board. We talked about that.
Yeah, go back to the drawing board.
We talked about that. Like, where are your milestone cigars at? Bring them back out. Yeah. Like, you know, you should never disappear because you should always have some winners that you're constantly releasing. So that's fantastic. Yeah. He's getting his winners back out there to the people.
Yeah, let's go back to the drawing board. Let's find out what our winners are. Let's start pushing these products back just so we can grab the hearts and minds of the people who really enjoy these cigars, so we can get our names back in that top tier round. And you know that's kind of good to see. I wanted to see that it was a new cigar. I really did. But seeing that it is looks like a legacy cigar, you know, that's kind of it's kind of a good thing too. Because like I said, I have not seen this cigar. If I have seen it, it might have been years ago and I might have forgot that I've seen it. But getting back into the cigar shops as heavy as we've been over the last year or so plus, because I would buy my cigars in bulk and did not go back to the cigar shop. But now, since we re-upped on the podcast and we're staying consistent with these episodes, I'm going weekly, sometimes twice a week now. You know, really getting my eyes on cigars, looking for some new cigars, actively looking for Alec Bradley in different shops. And I haven't seen it. So this must be a ploy for them to say, hey, let me push out those cigars that that I know that people must have loved back in the day. And smoking this one, I can probably see why. I can see why.
That's dope though, man. Because Alec, like you mentioned, was known to have several 90s. I think if they just focus on that alone, you'll
Yeah,
get a lot of new smokers that didn't know you existed. You know what I'm saying? And then
yeah,
you can
yeah,
get
yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
old clientele back. Us, I mean, we trying our best to keep you alive. We talk about you every episode, like you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm not mad at that, man. And a lot of that's gonna have to be Alec and them rebuilding trust within the actual shops that purchase
Mm-hmm.
from them.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that your shop had it is good. I'll have to get back into some of my shops and see if I'm starting to see it there again. Hopefully that relationship is starting to be rebuilt, and Alec can get back out there, man. I like that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So it's definitely a winner of a cigar for me. Like I'm really enjoying this smoke. Second, third kind of got a little bit of bite to it. I will
Mm-hmm.
say that has kind of produced itself in the second, third. And I'm getting a little bit of pepper now, just a little bit, which is rare. I don't usually get pepper in the second, third, but I'm getting a hint of it now, and it's getting a little bit of a bite. But it's already kind of settled into me, so I'm already settled in with the cigar, which I think is a good tactic. If you're gonna have a cigar with some pepper,
Yeah.
introduce me to cigar smooth, and then slowly introduce those different elements into it that might be a little bit more harsh, to where I'm already settled with my cigar. I'm already in a good mood. I already got my ambiance set. My
Right.
vibe is already set, and I'm already in chill mode by the time you start, sprinkling a little bit of more harsher hints in there.
Yeah, that's the way to go about it, Gurkha. If you gonna do it, you do it like that. You know what I'm saying?
Speak directly to them.
Speak directly to Gurkha, because Gurkha, like I said, man, Gurkha bring you right to, as soon as you walk through the door at the party, they offer you cocaine, and that's what Gurkha do. It's like, hey man, let me chill, man, before you start offering me hard drugs and stuff, man. This is
Gut punch as soon
uncomfortable.
as you walk through the door.
Gurkha punch you right in the stomach and throw pepper and leather in your mouth. Like it's like, come on, man, like. Let me get comfortable in my environment before we go there, man. Maybe I will take some of that leather and pepper, man. But chill, man. Don't just throw it in
Chill.
my face as soon as I walk through the door. Like,
Walk in the door. Come straight through the door with it.
yeah, man. So
Yeah, man.
this second, third of mine, that coffee is really starting to kick up. Where the coffee taste is coming through,
Okay.
and I
Okay.
think I've been upset with this bitter taste I've been trying to figure out the entire time. That I've been saying maybe it's the butane, maybe it's this. I think that's starting to have like a vanilla taste to it, like a vanilla coffee taste. But all
Okay.
vanilla coffee tastes artificial and nasty to me. I don't like vanilla coffee. So I think that's what this is coming through finally, is like a vanilla taste,
Okay.
but it's got that artificial taste to it though. Like I
I
don't
mean, you
like
know what?
any artificial flavors.
I don't have the same disdain that you might have for it, but I understand what you're saying. I like vanilla flavored coffee, but I do understand what you're saying, because I get those little hints, a little bit on my palate.
Yeah.
So I just drink through it. I don't have a problem with it. I can stomach it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm like that with in my drinks. If it's too artificial, it'll make me not enjoy a particular flavor. Candy, if
Yeah.
it's too
Yeah.
artificial, it's like that's not a natural orange taste. That tastes like you tried to make orange. I don't like that, man. Like, so
Yeah. Banana flavor never tastes like banana.
it's always, you can just tell you couldn't figure out the banana taste. I don't want it. Like, yeah.
That's so funny though. But yeah, I want to shout out Mary J. Blige, man.
Okay, what's up with Mary?
So we saw her on the stage of the Super Bowl halftime show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then 6 days later, see her on stage again at the All-Star game.
Mm-hmm.
Huge.
She working.
Huge. To be on two different stages at this late in her career, I can't name another artist that's doing that like that. You know?
Yeah. Big opportunity for Mary. She came through on that. Mary, and she's looking good for her age also. So shout out to Mary.
Huge. And
Mary's
honestly,
doing
I can't.
movies and TV also. So
Movie and
Mary,
TV, yeah,
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 so
yeah,
her
yeah,
career
yeah.
is still going well.
Working,
Yeah.
working. That's big to see. And I hope young artists, young aspiring artists are seeing this and understanding how much legacy means. Like we talked about with the basketball players, man, legacy, that means something. Like Spud Webb, he was in a matter of fact, he was in a commercial not too long ago, and it had something to do with the dunk contest. If he had not participated in that, that commercial a couple of years ago wouldn't have never existed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to say, you know, I put in enough work while I stood up and I did something years ago that's gonna sustain my legacy down the line. And I think in this day and age, these younger folk get caught up in the now and don't think about submitting their future,
Mm-hmm.
you know, or setting up for themselves to be able to be having some kind of use case in their future. You know, just so concerned with the now and what's popping now and what's hot now or how I feel right now. You know, and that to me was just a model of laying down a ground foundation that's going to keep your legacy and keep you going 30 years from now. Only person I know on the stage 6 days apart on one of the biggest stages in America, you know, to be on with that many eyes watching and then to be in the game that long. You know,
Yeah.
I don't see too many artists now that I can think of if they don't shift a little bit that's going to be doing that 30 years from now. You know, Super Bowl 2052 and an All-Star game a week later. Who do you think will be pulling that off right now?
Right.
I can't name one.
Yeah, this is, you know, what you made me think about is people you got to put yourself out there, and you got to put your best version of yourself out there, because you never know what will be your legacy defining moment. But you won't get it unless you put yourself out there, which goes back to the dunk contest. Spud never knew that was going to be his legacy moment. It was just something he put himself out there and did. You know what I'm saying? Because he was good enough to do it, and he made it. He gave his best effort, and it lives on to this day because of that. Now, this correlates with the artist from the point of view of maybe you don't know what your legacy defining moment in music will be, but you only get it by putting yourself out there, not by imitating what the next artist is going to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you never know how that moment will be received, but you can't differentiate yourself unless you differentiate yourself. You know what I'm saying? And put yourself out there. Like, if you keep doing what everybody else doing, you may miss your legacy moment. But if you put yourself out there and do your own thing, it might miss today, but it might hit down the line. Like
down the line. Because if you ride in the wave of now and then that wave dies, you die with that wave. You know, if all you are doing is just riding today's wave, and then when today's wave don't exist tomorrow, you falter right along with it.
Right.
Just simple as that.
Yeah, man. Too many people gonna miss their moment, you know, riding the wave or not taking a chance. You know what I'm saying? Because you just none of us know what we're gonna be remembered for. You can want to be remembered for something, but you don't know what it's gonna be.
Everybody want to be remembered for winning 10 chips, but not everybody gonna win 10 chips. So what do you want to be remembered for? What do you want your legacy to be?
What have you done? You know what I'm saying? Like, what have you done to have a legacy? Like, there's so many players in the league that won't be remembered. They didn't do nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you not that you didn't do nothing. You were a good player, but what did you do to stand out? Like, there's only but so many opportunities to stand out if you're not gonna be a top tier player on a team. You know what I'm saying? So like a 3-point contest, a skills challenge, a dunk contest, those are opportunities to be on the scale and stand out. You know what I'm saying? Those guys don't miss those chances, man. Like to have the stage to yourself, like you know what I'm saying, and because that's
Don't
where
miss,
you
don't
can,
miss your chance, man.
yeah,
Don't
because
miss your chance. Don't miss your
get.
opportunities.
Everybody's not gonna be a Dwayne Wade, somebody who was on a losing team and really wasn't, who was a kind of a regular player, but jumped
Mm-hmm.
out there and became like this all time great. Ultimately, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they're not all gonna be that. You know what I'm saying? Or you might not be what's the boy with the Gumby haircut down in Miami? He was in Chicago. Uh,
Talking about not Jimmy Butler, are you?
Butler, yeah, Butler.
Okay.
Butler's another guy who kind of came from up out of obscurity and got his chance and blew up as a star player. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
everybody's not those guys. You know what I'm saying? You might end up
yeah.
just being a six man forever. But hey, that could be your legacy. Watch this. Who's one of the greatest six men of all time?
Mm,
Don't
that's
overthink
kind of
it.
tough.
Just say who you love. Just don't overthink it.
I mean, I would say Ginobili.
Ginobili, okay. Ginobili is one. I wasn't thinking Ginobili, but yeah, Ginobili. Name your top three, and I guarantee you're gonna say one of the names that I'm
Oh, I
thinking.
think I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name right now.
Think of his name. Why am I throw my cigar down?
Hey man, I had a little bit of Japanese whiskey, man. Come on now, I
Hey
ain't as
man, I
sharp
was okay.
as I
John
could
Starks
be.
is where I'm going with this, but
John Starks, okay. But
he was
he was a starter six man. He
he
started
was
a
the
lot of games.
original great six man. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
he made his
Yeah.
legacy as a six man. Like he came off the bench and then he played at the end of the game. But Ginobili is John Starks
I mean,
2.0. Like he took it to the next
if
level.
you let me tell it, I'm gonna say Vinny the Microwave Johnson. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Pistons fan through and through. That's the greatest six man of all time.
Okay, yeah, I'll let you have Vinny. I like microwave. I like microwave, but anyway, yeah, that turned out to be their legacy. No, none of them guys wanted to be known as great six men. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, but
that's what it
sometimes
is.
you gotta find your position, ride your position, find out where can I grow at. You know, where can I shine at, and allow for that shine to be something that's gonna last a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Several lifetimes, you know, and that's not just to speak towards sports or music. That's in anything, man. That's in anything.
Yeah, it is. It is. We don't pick our legacy. Our legacy is just at the end of your story. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Once the story is
Yeah,
written, that's it. Like so,
and don't be mad when it's written.
it's only your fault. You know what I'm saying? It's only your
Like I
fault.
don't like this story. Why don't you like the story?
It's yours. Like J.R. Smith. What's gonna be his legacy?
Hennessy.
Hennessy. Like that's his. That's your fault though. Even though he was a great dunker and a great player, you know what I'm saying? Like he was exciting to watch, you know what I'm saying?
What
But
you gonna remember for? Yeah,
that's what you remember for. He has no control
make, make,
over that. All his great
making a
stuff
dumb
he
decision
did.
at the end of a finals game.
That's your decision. But you built to that moment. You slowly started looking higher and higher on the basketball court throughout the years until it
And
culminated in that moment.
he looks super hot to this day.
To this day, he didn't start out looking like that. You know what I'm saying? So you live with the decisions you make is my point behind all that. Like, you know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Lamar Odom, what are you gonna remember him for?
more off the court than on the court. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, and he was a solid ball player too.
Mm-hmm. I should remember him for what he did on the Clippers instead of what he did on E Network or whatever, But
Right. Yeah, man. So it's all about writing your legacy, deciding how you want to be defined, man. Deciding what you want for yourself outside of the now. And I'm talking to a lot more young people about that now, as far as getting them out of the now mindset. And I think with this generation, it's more of now. Think about how your parents grew up, or even how you grew up. we thought more future based. We thought more about 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the line. Therefore, our parents probably even thought even further, 40, 30, 40 years down the line.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants a 30-year mortgage anymore, which I wouldn't push a 30-year mortgage on anybody, especially understanding how money's done now. But that's what we were doing before, because we were thinking 30 years down the line.
Right.
We were planning our future out and not looking at the now and what I have and don't have now, or what I know and don't know now. It's about what tools can I possess now that's going to benefit me down the line.
Yeah. Well, hold on now. To piggyback off your point here, not that the now is bad, because your legacy is made in the now. It's not made in the future. It's made in the now. But be conscious that what you're doing now will affect your legacy in the future. And I think that's your point. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to clarify that.
Yeah. Very much so my point. I'm not saying just neglect what you're doing now and just be so focused on the future that you're so wrapped up in the future that you're not doing what you need to do to solidify your future. What I'm saying very much so means do what you need to do now to solidify your future.
Right. Okay. Be aware of how your actions today affect your tomorrow is your point.
For sure.
I just want to clarify.
But just thinking, understanding that what you do now is going to affect your future.
Mm-hmm. All right, you want to get a final words on these cigars, man, and then we go ahead and wrap up?
Yeah, man. Let's go ahead and talk about it, man. So I'm going to go ahead and give my rating. We're going to bring the ratings back. I'm going to say Alec Bradley, man, you might be back. You might be back. So I'm going to keep my eyes open. I'm going to look for Alec Bradley in the shops more to see if I can find even more. And I will do my research prior to the show. If I do find Alec Bradley, because I am curious to know what they are doing, like we're talking about now, to solidify their to solidify your legacy. So are they creating new brands now? Not saying you got to be gimmicky, not saying you got to just do all this wild stuff, volcanic ash cigars and all this stuff. You know what I'm talking about? But do they have anything new on their line, on their agenda, or are they just bringing back those great legacy cigars that they had? But this cigar, it's a good cigar. Is it one of my top 5 cigars? No, it's not. But would I smoke it again? Absolutely, I would. Getting down to the last third, I'm starting to get a little bit of leather. So we hit just a slight pepper. Pepper came and went. And now I'm getting into some leathery notes as I'm finishing up. My draw is getting a little bit more firm, so it's not as easy to pull as it was when I first started, which is a little different. Usually it's harder to pull in the beginning. It gets easier towards the end. But I guess it was packed pretty good.
Okay.
So well constructed. I'll give that a nod to how well it was constructed as a cigar. But if I had to rate it out of 5, I'd give this cigar, since I'm not done with it just yet, I'm starting to get a little bit of leather, I'm going to put you at a 4.0. Teetering. Now, if this last third goes bad, you can end up in the 3s. Or if this last third goes well, you can end up mid-4s, maybe 4.2 or something like that. Or you can go 3.8. Give or take, I would say give or take 0.2, depending on how this last third ends.
Okay. For me, my cigar, Java Latte by Drew Estate, is kind of what it is. It's one of those cigars. Don't expect a ton of changes in those type of cigars. You know, you're going to kind of have subtle changes, but they are what they are. You know what I'm saying? So this one here, I'm going to give it just an even 3. It did go into just a nice little mellow coffee taste, you know, but it still kind of had that little bite to it that I didn't particularly like.
Didn't like.
Yeah.
Okay.
But overall, it's just a smooth, easy cigar, but just an average cigar. You know what I'm saying? That's why I give it a 3. Right in the middle from 1 to 5, just an average stick. Something you can get your day going to, you know, but
Okay. A nice easy day starter.
Yeah. Will it be your everyday cigar starter? No, I wouldn't say that, but you know, something that I'd be mad at, you know. So it's 3 for me. But once again, I also give some lenience in the fact that I could be displaying issues with my own getting my taste and stuff back together coming off of that 19. So,
Okay. So I want to ask you this before we go. Since sometimes we like to separate those flavor cigars, flavor realm.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, we picked up the Sweet Jane, Fat Bottom Betty, Java Red, we got the Java Latte. Have we done the Moon Trance? We haven't done the Moon Trance on the show yet.
No, I did. Well, no. On the show, I didn't do that one either. Yeah. So, no Moon Trance on the show.
Okay. So no. I feel like you did a CAO on the show.
I didn't.
No CAO? Okay. Well, personally, I want to know, where do you rate that amongst those flavor cigars?
Last.
Yeah. So under Java Red, under Fat Bottom, under Sweet Jane, all those guys, last.
Way under the girls. Betty and Jane, way under.
And Jane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Way under both of those.
Okay.
And under the red. The red was good, man. The red is a nice cigar.
Red,
you know what I'm saying?
Red might be my favorite flavor cigar.
Yeah.
Like we spoke about in the very beginning. I've never had like a craving for a cigar but Java Red, which has happened. It's not the first time it's happened. This is not the first time. Last night was not the first time I said, man, I want a Java, and gone to a cigar shop specifically for a Java. Mm-hmm. So that happens very rarely. But when it does happen, it usually happens with the Java Red.
Right. The Red is a really good cigar, man. And not even just in terms of flavored cigars, but if you want to put it in that niche, it's good there. It's just a good cigar. You know what I'm saying? I've had the Java Mint off the show, and I actually enjoyed the Mint better than this latte also.
Wow. Okay. Well, there you have it, guys. There you have it. Episode 19.
Yes, sir.
Alec
so we got
Bradley, Java Latte.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Well, we appreciate y'all for tuning in this week to this episode of the Cigars and Everything Else podcast, and we'll get with you next week.
Yes, sir. Cigars up.